Good morning.
Good evening.
And we're back with episode 3. So we have officially
Woo!
traveled across the country, across the continent, across the Pacific Ocean, across the world, down under to
New
Australia.
Zealand,
Whoa.
Australia.
But anyway, yeah, I'm Theresa.
I'm James.
And eventually we'll probably stop and have a more formalized introduction. However, this is Backstory, the Tale of Two Cousins.
Episode 3. Episode 3.
Episode
The
3.
third episode.
And we're ironically both now wearing New York Yankees hats, which very interesting. But if you ever venture outside the U.S., the most common U.S. themed hat that you will see is a New York Yankees hat. I, in fact, have ran into many people wearing New York Yankees hats in Australia. Seen them definitely in Europe, but it's actually kind of surprising because baseball is not a big thing here.
I think it's more of a cultural thing than it is anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't. A lot of people don't even know what the Yankees are, but will wear the hat.
Yeah. MLB. Anyways, it's actually nice because we are Yankees fans. Well, I think James is a Yankees fan, being from New York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
Definitely not a Mets fan. Definitely
That's
not a Mets
good.
fan.
That's good. Well, enough about the US.
Yeah.
So I am talking to you live from Melbourne, Australia. I'm actually based in the suburb of Brunswick, which is what many people have told me, quote unquote, is the hippie suburb of the city. It's a pretty
Is it like
cool.
the San Francisco?
Is
Is it
it
like the
like?
San
It is
Francisco
nothing
of
like
California?
San Francisco.
I thought San Francisco is full of hippies.
I think it might be, but like this is a very it's a small little suburb area, and they have it's just known for its shops and stuff. So it's a very lively area, very youthful energy.
Is weed legal in Australia?
I do not believe so. I'm almost positive it is not.
So the hippies don't smoke weed.
No, they're just like more. I mean, Melbourne in general is known for being a very culturally diverse city, so it's just got a lot of representation. I'm right between two of the main streets that go into the center of the city, Lygon Street and Sydney Street. Or sorry, Lygon Road, Sydney Road. My bad. Might be Lygon Street and Sydney Road. Should
You
probably
didn't
double
do
check
your
that.
research, did you? You didn't do
I
your
did.
research.
I did do my research. I'm right off of technically it's Holmes, and then it becomes Lygon Street, and then Sydney Road is one of the really popular roads, especially in the Brunswick area. So I'm in the section where there's a lot of Middle Eastern cuisine. So you have a lot of halal, a lot of falafel, a lot of uh, that kind of cuisine, I'd say.
That's is there a lot of Middle Eastern
Yes.
culture
Yeah.
there?
Oh
That
yeah.
seems weird because it's the Middle East is not very close to Australia.
Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, like a good mix of. I mean, I know those are technically two different spots, but yeah, you get a lot of. It's
What
a.
part of Australia, like where, like geography wise, are you in Australia? If you had to pull up a map, where
That's a
are
good
you on
point.
the like the north, south,
Yeah.
east, west?
So Melbourne is the largest city in the southeastern part of Australia. It's in the state of Victoria, and is definitely one of. I don't think it's bigger than Sydney at the moment. We have a population of 5.23 million, I believe. So it's crazy when you think about it, just because most of Australia is its coastal regions, and honestly, pretty much majority of Australia is going to be Eastern Australia. You have a very minor portion of the
So
Australian
it's so
population
it's
out
very
west.
it's very much it's very much like the United States. A lot of the United States is on the East Coast is very developed because of the
Except for
13
the fact
colonies and
that
that
the
stuff.
entire middle of Australia is just the outback, the bush. It's almost
That's
completely
pretty much what
uninhabited.
America is. It's like nothing out there. There's like
No, it is very much not.
this this there's
Oh,
like nothing out there.
all right.
What
Well,
like
wait.
what?
I probably should have started with just talking about if we're doing history, especially like the origins of Melbourne. A big thing in Australia is their Aboriginal population. So those are the natives that were on Australia or that inhabited the territories in Australia before they were colonized. Britain came in, all that. What I learned actually this week. So at big events, and I guess I don't know what classifies as a big event in this sense per se. They do something called Welcome to the Country, where they actually pretty much just address the fact that they're on native lands and they pay respect to the people of that region, which is a really cool thing because we don't do that in the U.S. So
Yeah, yeah. I in America, Native American like culture is not very like well known or like publicly like
yeah,
acknowledged or mainstream. Mainstream. That was the word I was looking for. It's not very mainstream.
yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they they
Yeah.
they have a very similar system to the United Kingdom, more of like that parliamentary. I'm not gonna lie, I do have to look more into the politics of Australia. I was just at the Parliament building, but I'll probably talk about that more my next episode, um, since I had gone to the capital, Canberra. But yeah, so I guess in my way of paying my respects to the natives here, I can talk a little bit about the Yara tribes, which they were here many, 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 many moons ago, and they still are. It's actually really awesome. You can pretty much go into the city and go to a couple of the museums and learn about their culture as well. There's a lot of people that play some of their native instruments. The language that they spoke, it's the Narm language, Narm. Pretty cool, I think. But yeah, so the people of this region, and definitely forgive me if I pronounce them wrong, but the Wurundjeri, the Bunurong, and the Watarong, and I definitely pronounced those wrong. But
I
um,
couldn't do any better.
yeah, I did. Earlier, I was trying to like look up the pronunciation, practicing it, but frankly, I'm pretty sure I've failed. So the Wurrung tribe is like the Geelong territory in this is like more the kind of outdoorsy nature areas outside the city, and then the Bunurong is where I think Werribee is, which I'll actually be going hiking there tomorrow. They were members of the Kulin Nation, so really big thanks to those individuals for sure. Otherwise, Melbourne itself came to be in 1835. Fun fact, founded by a guy named John Batman, which is the only thing funny about it
Awesome.
is that his last name is
Awesome.
Batman. Yeah. And like at one point they called it the
Awesome.
settlement of Batman. Like that's just hilarious. I don't know.
They should have kept it the settlement of Batman. That would have been awesome.
That's a kind of. I wonder if Batman is like a big part of culture here. You know, like pop culture in the way that Batman is back home. Probably not. Although
Well, they probably know
American,
Batman.
they should. American media, American television, music is huge here. Like the people here grow up watching the arts, the music, the movies, the films from America. They speak English, so
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's English. What? It's United Kingdom discovered Australia, pretty much.
yeah. Batman
Yeah.
from the UK,
Batman.
1835, right along the Yarra River, which is to this day still goes through here. There's a fun story, I think, about the creation of the bay, they call it, which is just being filled by the Yarra River. I don't know. I really do want to learn more about the Aboriginal stories here. I think that's part of my mission. I guess I should have said I'm here on a Fulbright, studying biomechanics at the University of Melbourne, which is the second oldest university in Australia, but I think it's one of the most prestigious ones here. So I'm very happy, excited to be doing work there. Absolutely.
So would you say that Melbourne is a very college town, or would
Nah,
no
the
more
way
like a
universities operate
educational?
here, it's so different. They students. I think this kind of goes across for Australia, but the way it works, from what I've heard, students in high school, they get a ranking among all the students in year 12 in their region, I'm pretty sure. And that ranking is what determines what school they get into. So they don't need to take like SATs, ACTs. They don't need to submit any college essays, all that. For a lot of them, their first time going through that application process is if they're applying for universities later on, like post-grad in the United States, which is crazy because our entire application process is designed around submitting our GPA amongst our school. And not even that, we don't really, I mean, schools rank, but not in the way this ranking system works. And their undergrad is only 3 years. It's 3 years, and then they can do a fourth year, which is called an honor student. That's like their master's where they're just doing research. Then their PhD programs are also only 3 years long. PhD in the US is, you basically get a master's the first 2 years. So it's pretty wild how it operates
Oh,
here.
so it is. So it's longer. It's longer to get a master's degree in Australia. Yeah, I went to like a year and a half of community college. I didn't finish, so I'm not 100% educated on like the college um, timeline.
Well,
So
as someone that
you
did,
are.
I did the 4 years undergrad, then I did the 4-1 program, already got my master's, and I want to go for my PhD. So it's that would be, even with my master's, I'll probably do 2 years plus 3 years of research. Sometimes I can go longer. In Australia, you don't go past those 3 years. So they're very,
Unless you come to America and you become a.
and
So
you
the
go
only
into,
doctors is just medical doctors. There's no like doctors of like philosophy or archaeology or anything like that. There's no doctors like that.
probably not as many doctors in humanity subjects, but they do have, you can get your PhD in like engineering, your PhD. Most people
Okay.
will get it to go into research, which is very similar in the US. I'd imagine they have some PhD programs. It is very common for
Yeah.
them to go to other universities in like in Europe and the US and some of the Asian territories like China. I imagine India's another big country around here.
Probably also Japan probably has
Japan. Yeah.
a lot of engineering and science.
Yeah, yeah. And they
Like China
have,
probably has technical and other stuff like that.
yeah, especially like, I mean, if you go to other parts of Australia, you have a lot of agricultural work going on. But for Melbourne
Yeah.
specifically, it's a very big scattering. I think it's one of the most culturally diverse cities in the world.
So would you compare it to be like a New York, like for diversity, or like Chicago or LA
Yeah,
for
I'd say
diversity?
it's probably more similar to New York.
But it's not as big and not as populated, right? You said
It is
three
very
million,
popular.
5 million.
Well, I mean, we're talking about like the Australian population, so like 5.3 million, let's say average. That makes it the second most inhabited city in Australia.
Okay.
Um,
Well, it's like New York being the most populated state with like I think 36 million, with the city being at least 8 million.
yeah, yeah,
It's like that's pretty. It's close enough. Like the average
yeah.
is there
I'm
somewhere.
pretty sure Sydney is. I mean, Sydney. When you think of big cities in Australia, you think Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. Perth being the one on the west coast.
It isn't Sydney the capital of Australia.
No, no, that is Canberra, which I'll talk about next episode.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
until Canberra became the capital, so Melbourne was such a fast growing city. I believe it was, so they were founded by Batman, the UK colonists in 1835. 1850s gold rush. They were booming. Oh my gosh, they were making lots of money. They were very involved in sea trade. I think today they're the,
So they had their gold rush very close to our gold rush, the
yeah,
1830s,
but they were
the
the
to the
second wealthiest
1860s.
nation in the world at that time. And the U.S. was
It
definitely
was
not
the
up
first
there at
England.
that point. It might have been England. And I think it could have been one of the. It might have even been like China or something, one of the Asian countries. But yeah, so shortly
I'm not a
after,
historian.
it was crazy. They went from like they doubled their population. They went from 20,000 individuals to 40,000 plus individuals, which is in like the span of 20 years. So a lot was
Crazy.
going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was going on.
It's wild. When you go to a new country, like a place like Australia, I mean, maybe less Australia, but when you go to another country, you don't expect it to be so similar to the US, and it has so many similarities for sure, but they've also got such a unique thing going on here. But in Melbourne, there's just so many people represented, so many different things happening. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure it wasn't even the UK originally was in Tasmania, so it was people from Tasmania and the UK that then came to Melbourne. Tasmania is an island, just kind of like right off the coast of the southeastern ports of Melbourne. It's also part of Australia. That's where the Tasmanian Devil's from,
Yeah.
I think.
Awesome. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Looney Tune.
Uh,
Um, I would say, yeah. A lot of the world now is very similar to America because of corporatization. Like you can find a McDonald's in the UK, Germany, France. You can find
yeah,
a McDonald's
Korea.
anywhere.
Yeah, we got a
Like
McDonald's right around the
like
corner. That's what I
Morocco.
had for dinner last
Yeah,
night. My French flatmate won McDonald's for dinner. I said, yeah, I'm in.
yeah. And
Uh,
I think that's what makes everything so similar to America is the corporatization.
yeah. And so,
That goes back to the mom and pop, as I was saying in last episode.
yeah, but I will say, like Melbourne especially, I mean, they have so many more like locally owned businesses than I'm kind of used to seeing. Like a lot of smaller run cafes, coffee shops. They have some little like pizzerias, a couple of really
Is it
interesting
good?
thrift stores. I haven't had pizza here yet. It's on my list for sure. The ice cream here is amazing. I've had gelato. I've had very unique flavors. Earl Grey chocolate, Luther Scoops, probably my favorite so far.
Like the tea?
Yeah, it was really good though. And in like an ice
They
cream
make ice
scoop.
cream?
They took Earl
Sure.
Grey tea themed chocolate and merged it with chocolate, and it tasted good. There's one ice
Whatever
cream.
floats your boat.
Yeah. Uh, I guess on the some more of Melbourne and its rich history, it was the capital of Australia until 1927 when they made Canberra the capital. So yeah, it probably is. It's one of the bigger cities. I think Sydney. I'm almost positive Sydney tops it. I know I keep saying that, but damn Sydney, damn it Sydney.
Sydney is probably the New York of Australia, probably.
Yeah,
Like for the
yeah.
popularity.
It's got more beaches, but Melbourne, seventh largest foreign-born population, so they actually have a lot of immigrants, a lot of people coming in from other countries, which also adds to a lot of that cultural diversity. It's a really weird. I wasn't expecting it to have such a big skyline when I got here for the first time. The skyline is entirely focused in its CBD. I think every city in Australia has a CBD, Central Business District, and that's the bigger skyline, the main city where a lot of the action is kind of happening. So that's like right off the Yarra River. Some pretty cool trails. They got the tan track.
I think every city has a business center. Like Wall Street is the New York business center. LA has, I
Yes,
forgot what the LA
but
one is
a
called.
lot of those US cities, they have the business center, but then they also still have very city skyline, like the city portion is
Oh,
still
okay,
outside of it.
okay.
It's like once you get outside the CBD here, you're in the suburbs. So, for instance, I think I'm, oh gosh, they use the metric system here. So I'm about 10 kilometers, I want to say, from CBD, like about 6 miles.
So what is that in American?
About
What is
six
that in
miles.
normal?
About 6 miles.
6 miles. Okay, good. Good. We speak normal
Um.
here.
Oh, okay.
Not
I
this
got a bike.
European bullshit
Ah,
with the kilometers.
and Celsius. Everything here is in Celsius. I think the temperature today is 28 Celsius. So it is summer. It is definitely summer here.
Like 70? What is it? It's like three
I think
times.
low 80s. Yeah, we're expecting thunderstorms. Oh my gosh. Had a crazy thunderstorm the other day, and I kid you not, for an hour, 3 p.m. was in my lab, complete downpour. After that hour, my weather app was down to the point. Rain stops in 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, the rain stops. Sunny, beautiful. Couldn't even, I mean, aside from the roads being wet, you couldn't even tell, and my bike seat being wet, you couldn't even tell that it just poured, you know? It was beautiful. And then it did rain again later. But it's true. Melbourne does indeed experience 4 seasons in one day. It is insane. You wake up and it's chilly. I've gone for runs in long sleeve shirts in the mornings. You go through the day, it gets so hot, and maybe you get a rainstorm for an hour or 2 hours, and then it's dry again, and then it's chillier
So
in
one
the
of these
evening.
days it's gonna snow. One of these
No,
days it's
they
gonna
don't get
snow.
snow. They don't get any snow.
Rats.
Yeah. There's very, very few places in Australia that do get snow, which is crazy because Australia just won their most number of gold medals and medals in the Winter Olympics. I think they had 4, and they were ranked pretty high
Yeah.
in the ranking of medals overall.
Well,
So
Americans won a lot of the gold medals too. Yeah, we did.
yeah, but the
And
fact
like
that
hockey,
Australia
we won the
doesn't
gold.
get but get the US, the fact that Australia has no snow and they're winning gold medals in snow themed sports, you know, the
It's
Winter
like
Olympics.
it's like the Jamaican bobsledding team winning the gold.
That's kind of cool. Did
They
they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
Like
sweet.
I don't remember, like in the '90s or something, or
Oh,
the
okay.
'80s, they
Okay.
won Jamaican bobsled.
Bobsledding is there's so many
They made a
fun
move.
memes
They made a
about that
movie
sport.
about it.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I'm in for it. I'm
Yeah.
in for it. Their National Gallery of Victoria is in Melbourne, and it's probably one of the most beautiful galleries I've been to in terms of statues and the kind of more, I guess, Australian Victorian themes art. I don't really know.
So they have like their own art and architecture not separated from England.
Yeah. It is, a lot of it was very English based though. Like when you go through all the statues, all the different framed artwork, a lot of it is from the UK.
England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they probably brought a
So
lot
there
of that
has
here
to
too.
yeah, there has to be a lot of Asian culture stuff over there because they're very close. I think
Yeah.
when you think of the Pacific, you think of Japan, China, Australia. So there has to be a lot of that type of influence.
Yeah. Well, again, 7th largest foreign born population. You get a lot of, surprisingly, there's a lot of, not surprising, there is a very big Southeast Asian culture here. Australia is very isolated from the rest of the world. So the closest places you can get to are, you know, Papua New Guinea, which is technically part of Oceania, New Zealand, and then you can get to some of the islands and more Southeast Asian countries, even the ones that are kind of connected to the continent of Asia. So you definitely
Yeah.
do have a lot
Like
of, I mean, that's a lot of the cuisine. Oh my gosh. There's Thai, there's Indian, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese,
yeah.
which is
You
very
wanna
exciting.
go through the whole list? Want to go through the entire list?
I don't want people to feel left out, excluded, you know?
Indonesia. Um, um,
Very,
um,
very good stuff. Very good
uh,
stuff. Um,
Tahiti, Red Dead
I know,
Redemption, Tahiti.
I feel like you're very into history and like wars and things like that, right?
I was about to mention that. Yeah, in World War I, a lot of the Australian front was against the Chinese. It
Yeah,
was against
so
the Chinese.
they do have a couple like war memorials, probably more so if you go to the capital and stuff. But there is a really
Like World War II
there's a really cool
against
merchant
Japan.
ship. Yeah. Well, the U.S. was actually stationed in Melbourne. They had U.S. forces, and they used the Melbourne. The Melbourne Cricket Club. I think that stadium, that field area, was where they kind of hosted the forces, helped them with a lot of the medical treatment, things like that. recuperating when they were fighting against Japan in World War II.
Yeah. One of the main right before I don't know if this is 100% true. But when we were about to drop the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we were actually going to invade, and Japan and Australia was supposed to be one of the leading forces on the south part of Japan, and we would be on the north part, and we would conquer in between.
Yeah, but if they were the north part, that would have
Something
been
like
more,
that.
I guess, like the Gold Coast, Cairns, all that region probably.
Yeah, but that would never have worked because of Japan during that time. Their emperor
Pretty
was their
strong.
god, so every single citizen would be fighting the soldiers, and there'd be
Oh
so many
yeah,
casualties. So it
yeah.
was just better to drop the bomb.
Well, they
But
were
we're
very
talking about
much.
Australia, not Japan.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so they did host in at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which is still around today. But they play cricket there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Speaking of sports,
They got cricket.
they do have cricket here. Cricket is a big thing. I mean, they definitely don't really have baseball. They actually, he's not from Melbourne, but Michael Dickinson, the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks, he's from Australia.
Do they also got? Is soccer big over there?
Oh yeah. Well, so Melbourne specifically is considered one of the sporting capitals, definitely of Australia and probably of the world. They have 27 professional teams across all the sports that they host here, which is a lot of professional teams for one city, especially for a country that, well, they have a lot of sports here. They I think they originated AFL in Melbourne, which is the Australian Football League. Very different from American
Which is
football.
soccer.
No, it's different. So they
So they
call,
have their own version.
yep, it's like a mix of American football, European football, and then it's just Australian football. So the AFL, big thing here.
That's crazy that they
Yeah,
combine all three of them. How does that play out?
I have
Have
no
you ever?
idea. I've got to go to a game, but
You got to go to a game.
it's
You
really
got to go to a
confusing.
game.
I'll be at soccer practice, and you can see them on the other fields playing. It's like it gives rugby vibes
Do
because
they kick the football?
they do kick it. Yeah, they kick it, they throw it. So it's definitely not rugby, and they have kind of like posts at some point. It looks crazy, and it's
Is
just
there
a
no
sport.
tackling?
I don't know. They just play here. Like it's crazy.
Mm.
Rugby is also big here.
What
Soccer.
is rugby? No
Rugby
idea what
is
rugby is.
just a gentler American football.
So it's European football, American football, and rugby. Is that what it is? Is that what the football over there is?
Pretty
Or
much,
is there
yeah.
a different type of football?
No, there's like there's an AFL league. That's why they call
I
it
know, no,
soccer
no.
here. It's not football because they have Australian football, so they have to call it soccer.
Okay, so they're normal.
I mean, even in the US, a real soccer player knows it's football. The soccer teams here are like soccer here is definitely nowhere near the level of European soccer for
Or
football
South American soccer,
or South American for definitely. Brazil,
like
Brazil.
Brazil.
World Cup
Yeah.
being hosted in the US.
Is that this year or is that 2028?
That's this year.
Oh, the Summer Olympics are in America in 2028.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. LA.
And in New York too.
In New York as
It's
well.
going
I
to be
thought
in
LA
New
was hosting.
It was LA and New York. I think they're
Oh.
changing up the states because of different sports have to play in different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways,
Anyway,
enough about the US.
we always go back to America.
It's just that's what we're used to. But
Yeah.
I recently went to a soccer game here, Melbourne Victory against Melbourne City. We're rooting for Victory. It was a really good game. Victory won. My friend who
What
actually
sport
lives
is
here.
this?
This is soccer. I said soccer.
Soccer. Okay.
Melbourne
I'm deaf.
Victory.
You know this.
But
I'm deaf. I can't hear.
they still treat soccer more exciting than Americans do for like a professional. It's basically their MLS that we went to, my friend D and I. But Melbourne hosts so many big events. They just finished the Australian Open, which is one of 4 Grand Slams, I believe, for tennis. That was about 2 weeks ago they finished. I got to see Coco Gauff.
So they golf.
Coco Gauff.
Yeah. Cool. So Melbourne is like the event city. Like
Yeah.
if there's an event going to happen in the country, it's going to happen in Melbourne, not like Sydney or anything like that. Okay,
probably
so it would
Melbourne's
be
probably the biggest events, I'd say. Like they host one of the major art festivals, the Fringe Festival, and it goes across other parts of Southeast Asia. Southeast Australia. My gosh.
Wrong continent.
Eee.
I thought I was tired.
Yeah. They have the Grand Prix, Australian Grand Prix, happening this upcoming
racing,
week.
Right?
Yeah, F1. That's the first. I think they weren't the first past 2 or 3 years, I want to say. But it's typically, and this year will be, the first major Grand Prix race of the season. So they're kind of gearing up for that right now. But again, they're going to host a lot of the major things. Actually, the NFL is coming to Melbourne next year, or this year, but next season. In October, November, I guess.
Did they already have who's playing?
Yeah, it's going to be the 2 California teams, the Rams and the 49ers.
49ers.
They love American football here. There are people that they know American sports and teams. Basketball is pretty big in Melbourne, so they follow all the NBA teams. You could talk NBA with a lot of the people. My Uber driver was a big Lakers fan.
I bet it's only like the mainstream one, like Lakers, Celtics. It's probably it.
More of the West Coast teams than anything, definitely.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like I met someone today who is a big Packers fan of NFL. So again, American football is huge. That's why some people will be very passionate about the difference between AFL and NFL. They have a lot of different rugby teams here too. They have rugby league, rugby union. They just make a lot of their own sports, and they love the outdoors. They love being active. I mean, you could go outside and see someone walking, running. Cycling is huge here. It's insane. They're definitely more active than the average American, which I appreciate.
Well, if you want to go with averages, I think that's most countries.
Yeah.
But so is there not as many cars if everyone's so active? Is there more cycling and more running?
A lot of people cycle to work, definitely. But you still have your fair share of cars. They get that typical work rush hour, and there's not as many roads per se that go into the central city. However, they do have the world's largest tram network. They still have trams. I take the tram sometimes to get to work. It's crazy. That was honestly probably one of the things I was most surprised about. I didn't realize they'd have trams. And I personally am a fan so far of like the public transport kind of into and out of the city just directly. But getting out of Melbourne, transport like that, you gotta fly, you gotta take a bus. I mean, that takes a while. But within the city,
so it's like a lot. It's like a lot more cleaner, and a lot more sanitary, and a lot more efficient. And
the cars here
couldn't get it right.
They're small.
So what kind of cars do they have?
They're small.
Is it mostly Japanese, Korean cars?
I don't think so. Like you gotta
like Nissan, or do they have their own Australian cars? That's my curiosity.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I feel like it's a lot of hatchbacks, but like the smaller ones. They call it hiring a car here instead of renting a car. So you have a lot of people hiring SUVs or Oots. I don't know what those are actually. Here it says their most popular vehicles are the Toyota, Mazda, Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Ford Ranger, I
So
guess it is. Oh,
American and Japanese and Korean cars.
yeah. Mitsubishi, Toyota's the most common. Mazda's Japanese, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah,
again,
I think
you're mostly
Toyota is
talking
also
about the.
Japanese.
It's not like the small cars you see in Europe. Oh, they do ride on the wrong side of the road here. They drive on the left.
So, can you drive there?
I have an international driver's license, so I can, but I haven't tried yet, and I would have to get used to it before I'd even try. So the people do transit though to work often. Like it's not even, you don't even have to drive. But yeah,
So it's like it's very inner city like that. It's
yeah.
like
But
where
if
they take the subway or the tram
you want to
and
go
they
anywhere though
walk.
outside, you need a car.
Yeah, yeah.
The Great
I
Ocean
think that's
Road,
everywhere.
that is everywhere.
That's
Yeah,
every.
but
It's
it's
everywhere.
different here compared to the U.S. You know, like if you can get to another state pretty quickly. If you want to go from here to New South Wales, which I believe is the next closest state, it's a hell of
So
a ride down the Great Ocean Road.
so it's like region. So it's like regions. So it's more
They have states, but it is
like
regional, man.
we have yeah. So it's more. It's not like our states where it's like you got like South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. It's more like the southeastern part, and then you have the northeastern part, and then you have the Midwest and the South, the southern Midwest, and then you have the
I
Northwest, and then you
guess.
have the Southwest. Is it like that?
I mean, they are separated in like a way, I guess. But technically, New South Wales, Victoria, those are your south in the ACT. That's the Capital Territory. Those are your southeastern states, and then you have like Queensland and oh gosh, I can't. I don't remember exactly what states are up there. But then you have they all go along the east coast, and then you have the ones over the west, like you have Uluru and Perth over there. So it's not the same in that you can regionally separate the US and you have very similar vibes in those regions. Like there's cities in states, but even their cities are nothing compared to like Melbourne, Sydney, Perth, your bigger cities. So it's
Well, yeah, it's like Columbia compared to New York. It's like it's nothing.
yeah,
It's like a little town.
yeah. It's just
But
it's not as everything's very far. It's a
it's
very massive and very spread out
it's like a bunch
area.
of Texases, right? Is that would you say? Just
No.
Texas, 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 Texas. It takes like 28 hours to get across Texas.
I mean, I concur with that, but you know, fun fact about pandemic, Melbourne, it was pretty much Australia did a really good job of shutting down. Like their prime minister just was like, no, you know, we're following the rules, and people just listened. But Melbourne was the only city; they were the worst in Australia. Like they had a couple of just complete shutdowns.
Yeah,
People
they
just
just
didn't.
sucked. They were just the
No,
worst with it.
they didn't suck. I just think they were so populated and they had so many different people. So
Well, it's like how Cuomo dealt with COVID during 2020.
yeah, I don't know. People just seem
It's
to listen
horrible.
here. They listened and followed the social distancing and the quarantine period. But I
Not
don't
like
know.
Americans. We don't care.
That's what
Oy
it feels like
vey.
sometimes. You would enjoy. You'd probably enjoy the food here, though. Being they got a lot of Italian culture here. They all immigrated
I
after World
enjoy
War
food
II.
and
You know?
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Italy was on the the bad side. The I can't remember what it was called. I'm blanking.
Allied and Axis
I'm
powers,
tired.
right?
Yeah, the Axis powers. Yeah, it's midnight over here. I've been up since 8, so my brain's fried. Um, yeah, the Axis power. So that makes sense. A lot of immigrants. That's how a lot of immigrants came to America. A lot of immigrants from Sicily. They
Yeah.
went to America
Yeah. So they got a
during
lot of
that time.
Italy.
We're during World War One. They went to America.
I feel like they didn't really get definitely there's really no German culture here, I'd say, which also isn't necessarily surprising. But Not a lot of Irish either, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like
think
those
a
are
lot
big
of
in the
Irish
US.
went to America. I think you either went to America or Australia. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Definitely not a lot of
I think it has to. I
Spanish
think it has to
heritage.
be because of. I think because it has to be the Italians were part of the Axis, and they had to go to Australia
A lot of
because
Greeks. A
no
lot
other
of
country was
Greeks.
on. Yeah, you're saying that Mediterranean, a lot
Yeah.
of Mediterranean
Yeah.
culture,
I
so it
guess
has to be
it's
that.
easy, not easy, but a boat ride over. Um,
I bet it's not a good boat ride over. It's across the world.
yeah, the waters are
That's probably
apparently
like a
very rough here.
3 month boat ride.
I want to see more wildlife, but most of the bush wildlife are like an hour, 2 hours outside the city. So I haven't really seen much outside. I saw my first
We
kangaroo
saw a
like 3 days
kangaroo.
ago.
We
Yeah,
saw
but
a kangaroo.
I
Yeah.
wasn't here. I wasn't here. Yeah. So it's a great city. I'm lucky to be in a very like this is where it's happening. You know, the nightlife here is definitely something when you go to the CBD. Uh, I mean, there's just so many people and they all want to have a good time. The people here are just so much more chill. It gives those West Coast vibes where everyone's a bit more calmer and they're more willing to have a good time. You don't have to schedule things. People have hour-long lunch breaks and there's no rush to finish your lunch. Uh, everyone's willing to talk about where they come from and they want to learn. It's hard to talk about stuff in the U.S., especially nowadays. But people
Well,
just,
especially in New York, like
especially in New York,
we
yeah,
hate it. We don't want to hear it. We
they're
don't
just more
care.
open to. Although a lot of people here do ask, like, you know, it's a scary time to be in the U.S. and they're all kind of like, do I want to go there? And I say, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a scary time to be
Yeah,
anywhere, but it's
yeah,
we're living in history. It's all cool stuff. Um, so I don't
yeah.
know.
But we won't. I don't.
No,
We won't go into politics.
no. There's no just in general like the it's a good time to be alive, and I think the people in Melbourne are experiencing that, and they do a
Yeah,
good job of
I
showing it.
would. I probably could never live there. I don't. I need structure. I need a structured environment like the Northeast. I'd love to visit. I'd love to go talk to people about it, but I could never do that. I could never live on the west coast of America or Australia if that's their
Oh,
vibe.
I
I
definitely
need
could.
structure.
There's structure. It's just you know
It's too relaxed. I couldn't deal with that. I can't deal with relaxed
yeah.
structure.
Well,
I
as
need
we know
structure.
from our last episode, you live for the Northeast. You know you wanna you love New York.
I do love New York. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should come visit me in Melbourne. It's got a cool airport.
I I'll try. I'll try, but
Second biggest
plane
airport
tickets are
in the
expensive,
U.S.
and I
It
have
is
to go through
expensive.
5 airports to get to here.
Oh, it was like a 30-hour trip, I guess, because I had the flight to LA, and then that was like 6.5 hours, 4 hour layover,
I have to go.
16
I have
hours
to go
across the Pacific.
to fly to Australia. I have to go through LaGuardia to LA. So I have to go to New York, to LA,
No,
to Australia.
you could go to Atlanta. You could go to one of the North Carolina ones. I met someone from North Carolina who flew just to like one airport. They flew to Houston and then to Melbourne. I'm pretty sure something like
Yeah,
that.
but that I still have to like hop different planes.
Well,
Either way, if I have to go to
take a
Atlanta or
train.
LaGuardia, I don't know. Well, I've been here for 6 years, and I can't talk about much.
I don't know. Melbourne's got like so much going on just within its own city. Like each suburb is so different, right? I'm in Brunswick. Then you have Carlton, not too far. That's another youthful area. Um, the regions around it, they have a couple national parks nearby, like the Dandenong Ranges are
Tom the Tonger.
Dandenong. Definitely butchered that too. They're not too far. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about, especially Australia. We'll have more to talk about. I'll probably talk about Canberra next episode or How are we
Well,
deciding?
we're gonna have to
Yeah,
see. We're gonna have to see.
yeah.
Whoever wins the rock paper scissors this time gets to do
Okay,
that
gets to
episode
start
next
off the
time.
next. Yeah, yeah.
It's like you're in Australia. I'm here. I can barely get completed my episode. Whatever. All right, rock paper scissors.
Time out. We're both doing cool things, all right? James told us last episode he's starting a new job. He's also starting classes himself. So he's going to be a student again. I'm over here just doing research, you know. You'll have to talk more about that next time. Let us know how it's going. But
Yeah.
it's fun. I think worst part about being here so far away from family is the worst part about being here is being so far away from family and friends, but meeting a lot of cool people, and who knows, maybe we'll meet cool people that can come talk to us as well. All right, rock paper
Yeah.
scissors.
Okay.
Rock.
Rock paper scissors and shoot.
Oh, okay.
Rock paper scissors and shoot.
Oh my gosh.
Rock paper scissors and shoot.
Let's go. Rock, paper, scissors. All right.
All right,
So
you get to do the
I
next
guess we're staying
episode.
in Australia for the next episode.
Yeah. Gives me
Cool.
more time to do mine. Yeah. All right. End of episode 3.
Woo.